We're going to be starting with Amna Haroon, and she will be discussing her research on renewable energy, a sustainable solution to Africa's development challenges. Welcome, Amna, and the mic is yours for you to start. Thank you.
So, hello, everyone. I first want to thank the World Association for Sustainable Development for this opportunity. It's such an honor to be here with all these great minds. It's been very interesting listening to these sessions. My name is Amna Haroon, and my topic is going to be around the question of whether renewable energy could power Africa's development. Energy is vital in our daily lives, especially in this digital age. It's a basic human need. Energy powers everything from illumination, communication, transportation, medical equipment, and much more. Energy growth has been linked directly with well-being and prosperity across the globe. It's central to improve social and economic well-being. It's a must in industrial and commercial wealth generation. Moreover, it plays a role in eliminating poverty, improving human welfare, and raising living standards. In fact, increased access to energy had a huge uplift in the Human Development Index. This emphasizes the central role that access to energy plays in achieving the sustainable development goals. Since however essential it may be for development, energy is just a means to an end. The end is good health and improved human welfare, sustainable economy, and a clean environment. Sustainable development has been defined by Prime Minister Birdland as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own need. And this is one thing that renewable energy has over conventional fossil fuels. There are 640 million people in Africa with no access to electricity, according to the African Development Bank. Almost half the population of Africa has no access to electricity. This drives people to use expensive, dirty, and unreliable sources, such as kerosene lamps, candles, and firewood to meet their essential energy needs. And this is what I call the energy paradox. Africa has a huge opportunity to power its nations from its renewable resources, but it's experiencing what's called as a poverty of plenty, though it has a high potential, but a little go utilized. As you can see here in the slides, according to the International Renewable Energy Agency, Africa has a potential to produce 10 terawatt of solar energy. That's 10,000 gigawatts. But the current installed capacity is only 12 gigawatts. I can put it also in another words that Africa is capable of producing 40% of the global solar energy, but currently it's only producing 4%. Moving to wind energy, and according to the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank, Africa has a wind energy potential of more than 59,000 gigawatts, but the current installed capacity represents only 0.1%. As for hydropower, a major contributor to Africa's lightning, the current installed capacity is 38,000 megawatts, but unfortunately, this only represents 5% of Africa's true potential. And so goes for biogas and geothermal, a little go utilized. But being optimistic here, the good news is that there's a big room to grow. Let's take solar energy, one of Africa's many abundant resources. For example, as an example, how can the transition to solar energy and the use of solar can bridge Africa's development gap? Relying on the extension of the electricity grid to reach to rural areas will take years, if not decades. This drove the government departments and private investors to deploy what's called as decentralized generation systems, such as MiniGrids and standalone systems. These are faster and less costly to install. Decentralized generation has been seen as a way of reducing the gap between urban and rural areas in terms of access to electricity. And it's also viewed as a way of rural electrification in Africa. As we can see on the picture on the bottom left, this is a simple solar system, which is a solar kiosk. It's the central store in a community. It's used to provide locals with charged solar kits, such as solar lamps, lanterns, and mobile charging. These systems sometimes come with the internet and television for socialization. Another system is the solar home systems, which is electric network on a scale of a house. It consists of one or more solar panels, inverters, and batteries to store energy. This energy can be used for in the evenings or at nights. These systems had a huge impact on rural communities. It improved the well-being of rural communities. Access to good lighting enabled people to extend their work days and study in the evenings at a more affordable cost and without straining their eyes. The social life is as well enriched. The communication equipment get information to rural areas and keep them connected to the world. Moreover, the excess energy is used for income generating businesses. Since the goal here is to make the community self-reliant and use solar panels not just to generate energy, but also for revenue generation. As you can see on the bottom right, these are the SDGs that are relatable to these systems. Moving on to a more scaled system is the solar mini-grids. There are solar power plants that comes with the storage, either batteries or hybrid with generators. These installations come with distribution network that are capable of supplying communities or villages and sometimes even cities, such as Goma in Democratic Republic of Congo. Bowen Education Institutes had improved student performance as energy for basic facilities such as lighting, computers, audio-visual equipment made a huge difference to schools that previously had no power. Decentralized generation can also power health centers in Africa. This improved the health services in the rural communities. It provided the reliable and sustainable energy needed for lighting, vaccine storage, and blood and drug refrigeration, and so on. The current percentage of people in Africa who were vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus had actually increased a bit from this percentage. It's now 7.3. Only 7.3 of Africa's population are vaccinated against COVID-19 virus. Among other reasons, the lack of energy plays a role in this low percentage. Solar can also be used for clean cooking. According to the World Health Organization, there are 3.8 million people who die annually prematurely due to illnesses caused by indoor pollution that's due to inefficient cooking. A healthier alternative would be the use of solar cookers. They are widely used in Ethiopia. They can be manufactured locally using local materials. Along with solar water pumps, women and girls can save a lot of time, spend the day in long journeys to gather water and wood for cooking. This time can be spent in self-development and empowerment initiatives. Africa is an agricultural continent, and solar energy has a role in agriculture. For example, for irrigation, now farmers can have a control over their own production without relying on the weather using the solar pumps. Also, it's used for food processing, such as the solar dryers and solar millings. Solar energy is also used for storage and livestock facilities to provide the power needed to run these facilities. But most importantly is that we all know that energy is a basic key input in the production process. Africa can move from an agricultural economy to industrial one with less cost and less environmental damages using solar energy. And in terms of innovation, agrivoltaics combines agriculture and solar panels in the same land to produce energy, but without negatively impacting the production. In recent years, renewable energy had attracted the attention of investors, mainly for 4 reasons. The first and the most important reason is that the increase in the efficiency while the reduction in the cost. As we can see in the picture on the left here, in the last 10 years, the cost of solar energy had an 82% decrease in cost, while there has been a 39% reduction in the cost of wind energy, onshore wind. The second reason is that renewable perform well and in unstable markets, unlike the non-renewables. As we have seen with COVID-19, fossil fuel had seen its sharpest drop, while renewable energy had recorded its highest increase. The third reason would be that renewable energy provide more job opportunities, not just in the energy sector, but also the reliable and stable energy attracts investments and businesses, hence generating more job opportunities. The last reason is that the health benefit and the fight against climate change give investors value for their organization's existence. In this slide, I'm going to touch briefly on the challenges that face Africa in transition to renewable energies. Achieving sustainable economic development will require the sensible use of resources, technology, appropriate economic incentives, and strategic policy planning. It will also require the regular monitoring of these policies and strategies, the effect of these policies and strategies on sustainable development, if they're furthering sustainable development or if they need to be adjusted. For starters, we all agree that all hands need to be on deck on this journey. Governments, private investors, financial institutes, and also, as well, the consumers. Government needs to develop frameworks and policies that encourage and support green investments in the continent. According to IRENA, by 2030, Africa can have a 70 gigawatt capacity of renewables in the continent if policies supporting this transition are put in place. Policies, like the government should put policies that enable an attractive and encouraging ecosystem for entrepreneurs, national and international investments. Also, another challenge is the R&D in the continent. Establishing laboratories that support R&D across universities and research centers across the continent is vital. The success of transition to renewable energy could only be assured if efforts of R&D are supported. And sticking to my time, I just want to finish up with this point, is that in this year's African Energy Week in Cape Town, the event concluded with a message that Africa is not ready to abandon its fossil fuels yet, doubting the ability of renewable energy to power the continent. Moreover, that saying that fossil fuels are not needed just to power Africa, but also to power manufacturing these technologies, renewable energy technologies in the continent. Each African nation has its own unique energy needs. A mixed basket of energy resources would be the best approach for nations to secure energy security, as quoting one speaker. And as the speaker said that renewable energy investment should go arm in arm with fossil fuel spendings, as we need fossil fuel to produce a petrochemical that would enable us to produce the technologies in our own continent. The world is urging Africa to get on board in the fight against climate change and following the same path, abandoning fossil fuels. But is it fair that Africa to abandon its fossil fuels while it's only producing 3% of the global greenhouse gas emissions? The controversial question remains that should Africa work on mitigation or adaptation and resilience of climate change? Either way, conventional or renewable resources add up to a huge competitive advantage to Africa. It represents a huge economic opportunity that we should all capitalize on together. In short, there is a huge need for informed and balanced choices of policies, investments, and corrective actions, which also requires a commitment of governments and international community to support the changes in the way energy is funded and subsidized. Thank you so much. That would be it from me. Here are my contact info if you want to further discuss this topic, or if you have any questions, please go ahead. I'm open to any inputs. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, Amna Haroon, for this eye-opener session. Clearly, the underutilization of Africa's renewable energy is affecting all other economic and social sectors. However, as you said, there's light at the end of the tunnel, as this is an opportunity for growth.
So please remember, if we all help and do a little bit, it will make a big difference.